Hello everyone, my name is Liam Riebel, and these are the top 10 things I would do to avoid being crushed by a roof truss system. Tip number 1. Follow bracing schematics. This means recommended truss installation schematics that are included in the manufacturer document, like the ones in this slide. Notice the ground brace system that is colored in brown. This is crucial roof truss information. This schematic is the implemented bracing on the day of September 6th, 2013, which is a very important day in roof truss history. Notice the lack of ground-based system. This implemented system lacks horizontal support. First off, I just dropped a really important date back there, September 6th, 2013. This was an Orphace article that I researched when compiling my list of 10 things that I would do to avoid being crushed by a roof truss system. This article covers a work crew being hired to make a commercial shed out in Oregon. The men hired were hired over the phone after just a few questions and were brought on board to work with little to no training prior. This led to a misstep in the installation of the roof truss system for the shed, leading to the death of a 33-year-old carpenter. This ties well into my third tip. Don't be the worker on the concrete floor. In the Orphace case, 2013-27-1, which is the case I just talked about, the 33-year-old carpenter on the concrete floor is a cautionary tale about roof truss safety. And what we can learn from this past experience is, tip number 4, construction of roof trusses on the ground, with them then being lifted into place by a crane, would have prevented the case 2013-27-1. Tip number 5, exterior scaffolding on a structure would have also prevented such accidents, with tip number 6, interior scaffolding to brace roof trusses. Basically, all three of these options would make it virtually impossible for the roof to collapse, and it would have prevented such accidents, such as the case 2013-27-1. Alright, 7 tips in. That's most of the basics covered, including ground support systems, those brown lines from the first schematic, other important facts from the Orphace 2013-27-1 case, and the exterior/interior brace systems. The next 3 tips are the most effective that I've found, and will be mostly based off the facts brought up in the first 7 tips. Tip number 8, preemptive training from employers. The example from case 2013-27-1 showed a lack of training from the contractor, as the crew was just thrown onto the job site with no training on how to use correct schematics for installation. Tip number 9 is also largely related to the incident in the case, as the minor questioning the crew received at the beginning of the job was not nearly enough to truly assess the abilities of those being interviewed. Phone interviews only is a no-go. Lastly, tip number 10 is to just go research roof truss accidents yourself. I have the article that I used linked down below if you want to see where I got my ideas, but there are plenty of other articles. Thank you for watching. My name is Liam Riebel, and these are the top 10 things I would do to avoid being crushed by a roof truss system.